She crouched next to me, her ice-cold fingers tickling my ear. I felt them slide inside. I screeched, battling in my throat before I felt it. Wherever it was stuck in my ear, I felt narrow fingers wrapped around it and pulled. I screamed.
What's up, guys? I'm Elijah.
And my name's Doug.
And you have just tuned into episode 3 of the Elijah and Doug Show, where today we're going to hear the most spine-chilling, horrifying,
mind-boggling,
terrifying stories of all time. And where are they coming from, Doug?
They're all coming from your neighborhood local Reddit.
Right from Reddit. So
is it Reddit or Reddit? I be saying Reddit.
Riddick's the movie with Vin Diesel. So it's coming from your local neighborhood Reddit.
Reddit.
Yeah. With that being said, let's get right into it with story number 1.
No, my siblings and I wasn't hearing things. The voice messages on mom's phone was an AI draw. Hello, I'm calling to the body disposal scheduled for 8 p.m. Due to an error in the system, we'll be 1 hour late. Grandma was 96, barely conscious, but this was cruel. I thought my mom...
Wait, she was 96 and barely conscious?
Yeah.
Okay, so Grandma's 96.
Grandma's out of her. And Grandma obviously is on the floor. Right. He didn't say it, but he could see her, and she's not conscious.
There's 3 things we know about Grandma. She's 96, she's unconscious, and she's on the floor.
Yes.
So Grandma's not doing great.
I caught my brother's gaze across the table at dinner. Do something, he muffled, because I was 1 year older. We know about Grandma, I spoke up. It's so weird to say we know about Grandma. We know about Grandma, I spoke up. We're not going to let you take her. I didn't realize until I caught Luke's friend's eyes that I was drooling. But just as I stood, my legs gave out and I dropped back into my seat. A sudden loud thunk, and Frida's head hit the table. My head spun, and I toppled off my chair. Mom's expression didn't waver. They're not here for Grandma, Rosa, she said calmly. They're here for you. The door opened. A swarm of black flooded inside. Doll number 68, version 10. Please remain still, a woman barked at me.
A woman barked at me?
Yeah. She crouched next to me, her ice-cold fingers tickling my ear. I felt them slide inside. I screeched, battling in my throat before I felt it. Wherever was stuck in my ear, I felt narrow fingers wrapped around it and pulled. I screamed. A deep-rooted agony searing through me. Through half-lidded eyes, I saw myself, Luke, and Frida, a concrete room and blood-splattered walls.
Oh my God.
Mom, with a mechanical grin, stabbed the two of them, Luke in the head and Frida in the gut. She came towards me, swinging the blade. But the scene changed again. This time, we were in the kitchen, and my trembling hand was a soup spoon. Across from me, Luke tipped off his chair. Frida spluttered, scarlet tinge forth, with Mom explaining how slow and painful death from poison was. Again, we are in back of Mom's car, the door sealed shut, choking on putrid smelling gas. When the thing was pulled from my ear, I was screaming. My brain was boiling. How many times has she killed us? How many times have we
Wait,
suffered?
so this has happened multiple times. The mom has killed these
Yeah,
kids.
like the kid's been dying for a long time, and just one
Oh
child
my God.
remembers. So one child is remembering constantly dying.
So these kids are having visions of their mom killing them in like 25,000 different ways.
I'm thinking it actually said her name. Her name is Rosa. So Rosa is the only one out of Frida. Luke and Frida is the other two. And her name, I think, is Rosa. Rosa is the one that's actually recalling all of this. The other two really don't know what's happening. They just living like, it's a normal, this is
Yeah.
happening to them. But she's actually able to, like, besides remembering past, she know what's happening then.
And grandma's still just unconscious. laying
On the floor.
This whole time, they haven't checked on grandma? I mean, come on. Grandma's just over there like, help.
So when the thing was pulled from my ears, I was screaming. My brain was boiling. How many times have she killed us? How many times have we suffered? When a man scooped me in my arms.
Wait, there's a man now?
When a man scooped me in his arms, the door opened farther, and another me stepped through the door. Another Luke followed, then Freda. Vacant, naive eyes, empty. I'm so sorry, the man's voice was sharp hiss. More memories slamming into me, and each and every version of me, my mother brutally murdered us. I don't agree with the children's doll law either. The man recited the law, rocking me back and forth. Parental rights state that once a child is deceased, parents have the right to purchase unlimited copies, including their memories and consciousness. I was thrown into a black van, dropped onto a pile of dolls. Luke and Frida dumped on top of me. He scuffled, his voice fading in and out. But there are some sick bastards like your mother who abuse it.
Oh my God, that is insane. So the mom was killing these kids in like 100 million different ways.
Yes.
And the grandma was on the floor. We now have a man who we'll label him mystery man for right now because we don't know who the hell this guy is. I mean, he just came in and scooped up these kids. Like, who is this guy? Is he the dad? Is he the priest? I hope, because they're gonna need one after all this crazy shit went down. This is a super interesting story. I'm not gonna lie.
That's his name.
Rosie?
No, it's the grandma's name. Grandma's name, they're not here for Grandma Rosie. They're here for you. So, yeah, we don't know the man's name. We know that it was, I guess, two boys and a girl.
So this man is just unnamed. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know who he is.
So the version, the Doll 68 version 10, why is there 68 versions of the doll?
Well, I mean, because it was number 68. So that means that the doll was the 68 version of the version. So, like, so one version to me is like has multiple episodes.
Yeah.
Like, think of it as a TV show. So, volume 1 might have 12, 10 to 12 episodes.
Yeah.
But in here, in they versions, their numbers go all the way up to maybe 100. So, like, if it's version 10, number 68, so that means that they done lived 968 different lives and died 968 different times. Because he said when the man scooped me in my arms, memories start flooding into me.
And grandma is 96.
Still on the floor.
Unconscious. Still on the floor. Like, why are these kids checking on grandma? What the hell?
Grandma need help. And they didn't help grandma.
All right, guys, that is a crazy, intense story. And it's just going to get more crazy from here on out. So, moving on to story number 2. My grandfather told me this story about how one time he was sitting in a chair in front of the house when he heard his wife repeatedly calling him from inside the house. The thing is, my grandmother passed away a few years before that. But he told me that the voice was so pressing that he actually got up to go look inside the house. And as soon as he got inside, he heard a loud crash behind him and turned around to see that the chair he had been sitting on moments ago had been crushed by the cast iron gutter that fell onto it. If he didn't come inside the house, he would have probably been seriously injured. I don't know if it's paranormal or not, but every time I think about it, it sends chills down my spine. You know what this is? Do you know, like, out west in parts of Nevada and Arizona and California, that there's this little thing called a skinwalker? And the thing that I know about skinwalkers is every time you see a video or every time somebody supposedly hears or sees one, they're always mimicking somebody else, whether it's a lost loved one, whether it's somebody that is a family member, best friend, somebody that they think is inside the house with them that's not actually there. I feel like this is one of those situations for sure.
They actually originate from National Park.
Where's National Park at?
Tell us in the comments, because I don't know.
If you guys want us to go to National Park to investigate and search for skinwalkers, please let us know in the comments below.
Yeah, make sure that, like, you got a tin bubble with, like, extra layers of protection of a clear glass.
A tin bubble? Is that what wards off skinwalkers?
I don't know, but maybe it'll help me. I don't want it to take me. And also,
You said it.
who has an iron cast gutter?
Yeah, I feel like that was very descriptive for no reason whatsoever.
Like, I was thinking about that. An iron cast. Everybody know what cast iron is. Cast iron. But think of an iron cast gutter.
As opposed to, like a plastic gutter or a rubber gutter.
He said it was full iron. I ain't never heard of that. Maybe back in the day. But
No.
a iron? That's crazy. I may be late, but I'll share anyways. I haven't told this story to anyone yet. This happened maybe 2 years ago. I was asleep, taking a nap in the living room, when I woke up to my dad saying, "Watch out for your mom." So I got up, went and looked for my mom, and I found her passed out in the bathroom. She had really had blood pressure to the point where internal organs were in danger. We could have helped fast enough so things could be settled with medications only. If my dad wouldn't have waken me up, things could have ended worse. He died 5 years prior to the event from leukemia.
Wait, he died?
So
He died. So you're telling me he died 5 years prior?
his dad,
Oh my God! And this dude's hearing, this kid's hearing his
was
voice.
still taking care of his
Oh my
wife.
God!
Even in the afterlife, he wanted to make sure that his wife was okay. And then what was crazy is that probably in a couple of minutes of the son sleeping a little longer, he said they caught it soon enough to the point that, like, things could be settled with medication.
Right before the mom died as well, because he had already lost his dad.
Yeah, and her internal organs were shutting down.
Oh my God! So this is like one of those stories. I feel like that is more, I don't know, sentimental, paranormal than anything. Because
it's still paranormal, but like
that gives me chills.
It's
honestly,
like
just
loving
thinking about it.
It's like loving paranormal though. Like, he loved both of them so much that he reached out to his son. Which his son
he wanted to
was
make
able
sure they were okay.
And I'm quite sure, like, you will remember someone's voice, especially your father.
Yeah.
Like, especially if they're around, and your father's around, you're gonna know your father's voice.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so in his sleep, he got woke up, like his daddy was standing over him, like, "Wake up, go look for your mom."
Yeah.
And then he got up and found his mom.
That's a crazy story. This is a crazy story.
It is crazy.
All right, guys, moving on. One night, when I was maybe 10 to 12, I had trouble falling asleep. My bedroom was the entire top floor of our house, with my bed and such being on the left side and storage closets and a playroom being on the right. I was lying in bed one night when I heard a noise from the other side of the room to see a rocking horse beginning to rock. It was sitting just outside one of the storage closet doors. It proceeded to rock its way halfway across the room and stopped dead under the ceiling light. Oh, hell no. At this point, I was freaking out and just buried my head under the blankets and never peeked out again until morning. It was all confirmed not to be a dream, as the rocking horse was still in the middle of my room when I woke up. Furthermore, I got a stern reprimand from my parents for being up out of bed playing with my toys well past my bedtime. Their bedroom was directly below the storage closet and had heard the creaking of the rocking horse shuffling across the room. So you're telling me not only did he see this, but the parents heard it as well.
They heard, he seen, and then nobody get up.
That is crazy.
That's the crazy part to me.
I feel like it can only be coincidence at a certain point, right? Because if the kid sees it and then the parents hear it, then what else is there?
Why didn't nobody get up? That's what I'm trying to figure out. For one, if you visually seeing something move in your room when there's nobody else in there, ain't you gonna get up? You gotta get out of her.
I'll be getting the hell out of that house.
And if I was a parent and I know my child is supposed to be asleep, it's like 3, 4 in the morning. What are you doing up playing with toys? I would have got up and went upstairs. None of this crap.
Get in bed. What are you doing?
The son was like, oh, don't get me. And then the parents was like, I ain't getting up. I'll handle this in the morning. Next story. My mom and I lived with my grandma at her house for a while after my grandpa passed away from the effects of a major stroke. At 14 years old, I woke up really early on Christmas Day after he'd passed. It was barely light outside. Under the tree, among the wrapped presents, while still half awake, I could make out a new winter coat and hat laid out for me by Mom. Then someone standing halfway in the doorway leading from the living room to the hall said to me, go back to bed. It's too early.
Nope, I'm done.
Instead of going through the doorway, I took an alternate route upstairs to my room. All other bedroom doors was closed. Later in the morning, when everyone was up and about, my grandma said her alarm clock radio went off. She hadn't set that thing in forever. She only used it for the clock. During breakfast, I told the above story to my mom and grandma. Mom then looked at grandma with wide eyes. All they could both say was, well, it wasn't me. I was still asleep.
That's a crazy story. Guys, if you wake up in the middle of the night and you walk out into your hallway and you see this dude standing in the hallway that is tall and possibly your grandpa, run the other way. V-line, like this kid did, in a completely different direction. Because, dude, I'm telling you, there ain't no way.
And in the way he wrote it, the way he said it, to me, it's like he was literally like walking down the stairs doing this. He know where he's at. He's in his grandma's house.
He's just like waking up.
He's just waking up, but he's still like it's like he was sleepwalking but woke.
That's crazy.
And then he seen or didn't see, but he felt the presence like somebody was there. And he heard a voice tell him to go back to bed. It's too early. And instead of going the way he came, he went the other direction. So that would have made me wake up. For one, it had to be a presence right there. Yeah. That's what I got out of it. For you not to walk through this door, you got to feel something. So he went a whole nother way. Ain't nobody going the long way when they can go the shortest route. And that's just the facts of life. Like, don't nobody want to walk 17 blocks this way to get home when they can go 2.
I mean, why was he up? Like, why did he awake? That's what I'm really curious about.
Yeah, it was like, to me, I don't even think his mom set out the coat and hat.
No, I don't either. I think that was Grandpa.
It was Grandpa's gift to him for Christmas.
So I think this is another one of those stories where it's sentimental. Like, people lose someone that's very close to them, and they recount instances of hearing that person after they passed away and seeing little remnants of that person, and just like it's like seeing a butterfly and like your grandma's favorite insect was a butterfly. I don't know. But just like something that helps you to remember that person. before they passed and left this world. But no, that's a really interesting story.
Before he woke
honestly.
up, the grandpa had already set the clock. See, that's some stuff I be thinking about in these stories.
Yeah, if the grandpa like went up the stairs, like and comforted the grandma.
Maybe that's why.
And then was like,
maybe that's why the boy woke up because he heard somebody going down the stairs. Like, okay, it's Christmas Day. Why not? Everybody's up. Let's go. But when he got down there, nobody was there.
Either that, or maybe the grandma's just a really heavy sleeper.
Yeah. But like, I'm trying to figure out why the boy woke up though.
The world may never know. All right, guys, we have come down to our final spooky Reddit story, and this one is terrifying. Isn't that right, Doug?
The first couple of lines, mind-blowing.
Without any further introduction, here we go. I guess it's time to let this one out. I'm a proud man, far too proud to admit that ghosts exist or would scare me, but for a couple of months, I was haunted. It started when I got my Ouija board, and I never read the rules. Come on, dude. You never read the rules. First of all, this guy's playing with a Ouija board, which is just absolutely just opening a gateway to things that you don't want. And number two,
Ouija boards?
He never read the rules. He never read the rules.
Well, I really don't read the rules to nothing either.
That's true.
For real.
Like you're playing a new game, a board game with your friends, and nobody ever reads the rules. I mean, let's be honest. But this guy needed to read the rules.
Yeah, that's different. This is a Ouija board.
Right. And what are the rules to a Ouija board? I mean, for real.
Yeah, that's
don't get caught.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
That's wild to have rules.
All right, guys. So we already have strike one and strike two. My friends were too chicken shit, so I did it alone. I know I didn't.
That was strike three.
I know I didn't just read that he did this alone.
In what sentence we got the strike three?
He did it alone.
So now we know, y'all, that he got a Ouija board. He did not read the instructions. And he's doing it alone.
This kid's crazy. He's crazy.
Yeah, he got big gahones.
I talked to two people that died by myself that day. One was a little boy named Tim who was disowned by his parents who died in the forest. Of course they did. The other presence was much darker, and for two questions I asked, it would reply death, which was not a valid answer. I mean, I feel like that's a pretty valid answer. If it's replying death, maybe you should get the hell out of there.
That's super valid.
I don't know much about messing around with Ouija boards. I've done it once in my life, and I'll never do it again. You're curious when you're younger, and you do stupid things, and you make stupid mistakes, and trust me, it's real. It's real. But yeah, why would this guy do it by himself? And in a forest? In a forest. We were just talking about skinwalkers.
Yes. In a forest with a Ouija board with two of his homies that's not doing it, so he's like, I'm gonna do it myself.
But they're not his homies because they're not alive.
So you think the two friends that he's talking about?
No, that's what he's saying. The one boy he talked to, the first boy, was just this random kid, and then the second was a much darker presence. That's what he's saying.
Jesus.
I got angry with the second one and yelled at it to prove its malicious nature to me. Here we go.
He won't malicious.
He was like, show me your power. And it was like, say less. Nothing happened. Okay. I packed the board away, feeling as if maybe it was me the whole time, which is the common notion for disbelievers. But then the next 2 months happened. Between 3 to 4 a.m., I consistently woke up with terror sweats and felt as if I was being watched. What do terror sweats feel like? What is that? I mean, I guess like when you... Oh my God, have you ever had that when... Like sleep paralysis demon? You ever heard of that?
Yeah,
I know you've heard of that.
I've heard of it, yeah. It ain't never happened to me, though.
So like when you literally wake up and something is over you and just... You can't move, you can't talk, you can't do anything.
When I was younger, I think that I hit the astral plane, though. I remember me floating over myself, and I seen my grandmama and granddaddy, like, on the couch. That's, like, probably one of the most creepiest things that happened to me.
Dude, that's straight out of Insidious, for real.
Yeah, like...
That's like what happens to the kid in Insidious.
I'm quite sure I astral projected.
That's crazy. I consistently woke up with terror sweats and felt as if I was being watched. About 50 days into it, I awoke to the most horrid screaming and a thud so loud I thought someone was breaking into my house. I jumped up and felt again like someone was in front of me wanting me to die, and yet no sounds from my upstairs housemates. Nope, that's when I'm burning the house, selling everything I own, and moving to the mountains. Probably not the mountains because that's where the skinwalkers are. But, I don't know, I guess we're just fucked in every direction.
We're going to the desert.
Alright, I got so scared that I quit sleeping at night. I would stay up until 6 a.m. at least to make sure that ghost hour wouldn't affect me. For those of you who don't know, the witching hour is between 3 to 4 a.m. And actually I have a crazy story about this. So, one time, we used to investigate this old cemetery. Me and my wife and my friends, we would go there and just try to see like if anything would happen. You know, when you're young, you're curious, like I said. But this one time, we saw these 3 deer appear under these. Now, so like, you know the big overhead street lamps that you see on the roads?
Oh, yes.
So like 3 of those turned on and 3 deer were underneath them. Now, it may not sound weird, right? It may just be a coincidence. We go back the next time and we see another deer under the street lamp who walks into the road. And I kid you not, midway into the road, that thing got up, turned into a human, and darted across.
See, I would have already been gone, y'all. Like, out of her. So, he didn't say.
Did we still get out of the car? Of course we did. Why not?
No, what? What? Foot to the ground.
But it came anyways. I'll always remember what happened at 2 months. I was playing COD, which is Call of Duty for gamers out there, as typical for the past 2 weeks, and all of a sudden I got this cold chill on my back. And it went to my left shoulder and then also onto the left side of my head. And I shit you not. I shit you not. I heard breathing in my ear. The pressure on my upper left side was as if someone or something was leaning its head onto my shoulder. No, I'm done. I'm done. I'm not doing it at that point anymore. It's just too much. I was frightened to death, but then I decided, fuck this. I got up, swung my fist, and screamed, fuck off and go away. Yeah, because that's a great idea. That's going to work. And after that night, it seemed to stay away. I don't know how all this happened, especially when I was such a non-believer. But see, that's the thing. Like, people who are non-believers, they tend to, when they're around these things, taunt and say stupid shit that just gets them in trouble. I mean, and for any of those out there who are non-believers, please don't use a Ouija board and go sit in the middle of the forest by yourself. And try to talk to people. It's just not a good idea.
No.
It's not a good idea.
Don't do it.
Because you're going to invite things in that you never wanted to. And that becomes a very dangerous situation. Mm-hmm. Those months felt like a dream. But I do believe now that certain energies do manifest. I mean, how could you not believe that at this point? I mean, you literally have seen it come face to face. Like, literally, this thing touched his ear. It was on his shoulder.
My man had to catch a fade with a ghost. He was like, back up.
Dude, my guy was Muhammad Ali in this shit.
The ghost. He swung on the ghost. And it left him alone.
Or did it?
Yeah.
Because this was 11 years ago.
Man.
So guys, we don't know. We don't know if this demon or entity or whatever this darkness was came back.
Yeah, we don't know.
I'd kind of be curious to reach out to this guy. I wonder if he'd come on the podcast for an interview.
That's something that like we could possibly do too. Try to reach out to some of these people and see if they can give a response of if any more things or any other things happened to you since the last time you put this on Reddit.
Absolutely. Let us know if you guys would like to see that, because why not? We could totally reach out to this guy. I'm sure he's like, 11 years older than he was when he wrote this, and
yeah.
Available for podcasts. I don't know. But yeah, it's this is definitely by far, I feel like, the most terrifying story of this whole episode.
Yeah, dude's playing with a Ouija board. He tried to make it seem like he had 2 friends there that was chicken shit, but the friends was actually the demons that he didn't believe in.
Yeah.
Well, one wasn't a demon because the other one was just passive. It was like, you know what, I don't even want to deal with you. I'm going to go ahead and just slide out. So then he was upset because the ghost left him. And then another one stepped in like, I got this. And he was like, death. And he was like, man, quit playing with me, man. Tell me why you heard.
If that thing says death multiple times, I mean, I feel like that's your first indication of, like, maybe I shouldn't be here. Maybe I shouldn't be involved.
Like he needed for the ghost to explain.
I don't know.
If a ghost say death, you ain't got to explain nothing. You right. You won.
You said death once. All right, I'm gone.
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
That's all ready to be like, you better explain what you saying to me right now.
That's all I needed to know. That's all I needed to hear, and we're good. We're done. That's it.
But a man that is in the woods by himself with a Ouija board that didn't read instructions, he'll do something like that.
Demon's Guide to Survival. Doug Case and Elijah Paul is coming to Amazon. It's a great book. Go check it out. Bestseller.
Yes, we got you.
But with that being said, if you guys ever need to be well equipped for an instance like this, but you're not going to be, because this is not going to happen to any of you, just don't mess around with stuff that you don't understand, because it does get very dangerous. And for people like us, even who do believe, for non-believers out there, you guys, I'm telling you, if you venture into it, you will find out, unfortunately, that is not good. That is not good. And it's not anything to be involved with. But guys, with that being said, thank you so much for tuning in to episode 3 of the Elijah and Doug Show. Doug, what's going to happen from here, man?
Amazing things. Zombies. Airplanes.
So many fucking airplanes.
So many. We're going to literally have to do an episode. It's talking about how many airplanes. Like, I'm starting to really feel like there is many airplanes in the world that it is cars. Like, there's no way. But it's going to be great. And we're going to always make sure that we incorporate y'all. We're going to do polls. Ask y'all for y'all feedback.
Absolutely, because that's what's most important to us. Hearing what you guys want to see, what you want to hear about.
Feedback. That's what we love. And
absolutely.
We will respond to y'all messages accordingly. Other than that, I wish you love,
happiness,
respect,
and blessings
with wealth.
But with that being said, I feel like the big tie-in between all of these stories has been unanswered questions.
All unanswered.
And guys, we want to know out there.
Where's Granny?
Where's Granny? Yeah, why is she still on the floor? Why is she... How old is this woman now?
96.
She's got to be like 116.
If this is 11 years old.
Granny's.
She's 106.
Let's have a moment for Granny. All right. Guys, with that being said, we want to know your spookiest Reddit stories.
Yes.
What has happened to you personally in your own life that could be tied into this category?
Yes. I done had my feet tickled. To the ending of this beautiful episode.
You do matter. You are beautiful. And we love you so, so much. And make sure to tune in for next week's episode because it's going to be crazy.
We're talking about planes and zombies.
Crazy. Planes on zombies.
I'm tired of
the planes are going to come into the
I'm tired of these mother effing zombies on this mother effing play.
But guys, we hope that you have a great rest of your night. Me and Doug are going to be signing off. And I'm Elijah.
And my name, Doug.
And you have been watching the Elijah and Doug Show. Bye-bye.